Hey everyone, Jack here, TalkNorwichCity. Welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are all doing very well indeed. Back with some more transfer news today, and that's the fact that Brandon Williams looks very likely to be signing for Norwich City in the next couple of days. Might even be ready for Norwich City's game against Bournemouth in the Carabao Cup next week. Who is Brandon Williams, you ask? Well, I suspect most of you probably know. He's a Manchester United player, plays right back or left back, was Manchester United's first choice left back for a little while last season. Raises a few interesting questions. Of course, this will be a loan deal for the season. This one's been rumbling about for a little while. When it was originally banded about, people were speaking about £2 million loan fees, which is a fair amount of money for a loan deal. That seems to be significantly less now. Of course, the other questions it raises is why? Why are we signing Brandon Williams? He's a man who can play left back or right back, and arguably they're two of Norwich City's strongest positions. We've got Dimitri Yanulis at left back, and we've got Max Aarons at right back. You've also got Jakob Sorensen, who filled in there very well last season. And you've got Ballymumba, who filled in really well as well. Now, obviously, Brandon Williams, you would say, is a step up on Jakob Sorensen and Ballymumba, and that's no disrespect to Sorensen or Mumba. They're both incredible players, but Brandon Williams was starting regularly for Manchester United as a 19-year-old, and that takes real calibre, and he played well. I think it was Manchester United's long-term plan. They saw Brandon Williams as a first-team footballer. Now it's slightly stalled because of Manchester United's transfer business and arguably rise in terms of placings in the last few seasons, which means that Brandon Williams wants first-team football. But does he get that at Norwich City? I'm not so sure. He's certainly not going to be taking Dimitri Yanulis' place to begin with, and neither Max Aarons. Now, does this mean that Max Aarons is on the way out? Well, it's certainly a valid argument, and I see why people are coming to them conclusions. I suspect that after the interest of Bayern Munich and Barcelona and other big European football clubs last summer, Norwich City were worried about losing Max Aarons, but with 2 weeks left to go in the transfer window, nothing has really been talked about with him. There's been more interest surrounding Todd Cantwell, who we all knew would be of interest to big clubs, but I've heard literally nothing about Max Aarons. Now, that, of course, doesn't mean that it won't happen, but I think Norwich City will be relatively confident of keeping Max Aarons at the football club now. The other interesting question about all of this is the fact that it now means that alongside Billy Gilmour, them two domestic loan deals are taken up. You're allowed two loan deals from the same country when you go into the Premier League. Billy Gilmour and Brandon Williams will take them two places, which is fine, and it's good that we filled that rota. But could we have used it in a position where we maybe needed a bit more strength? Now, you look at the team and the current guys, you would say we're probably a centre-back light and we're probably a central defensive midfielder light. Now, we've got Jakob Sorensen, who can play in central defensive midfield. We've got Big Andy and Christoph Zimmermann, who can play at centre-back. Are they adequate Premier League backups? Probably not. Certainly not Christoph Zimmermann. I think Big Andy could play in the Premier League, but it's a serious step up from being third or fourth choice centre-back in the Championship to playing in the Premier League against the best strikers in the world. So I think Norwich City must be confident that they can find permanent solutions in them areas. I think it's going to be a really busy few weeks for Norwich City, just under 2 weeks of the transfer window left. We've already spent a significant amount of money for Norwich City, over £50 million, which is remarkable, really, and it shows the progression over the club over the past decade. But Brandon Williams looks set to sign from the reliable sources that I'm reading. You can't be too disappointed about it. I mean, it's a player who was playing for Manchester United regularly at 19 years old, has played at England youth levels, has had his education at Manchester United. Like, this is a top quality player. And it's a real luxury, the fact that we're talking about is it the right signing? Because ultimately it's no real risk to Norwich City. It's more of a risk to Brandon Williams and Manchester United regarding his development, but Norwich City won't care too much about that because he's not their player. If he plays 10, 15 times in a season, the Norwich City have got themselves a really good, versatile backup for very minimal cash. So it's just an interesting one, really, because I just can't see him breaking into the side ahead of Max Aarons and Dimitri Yanulis. The other point is it's good competition. Max Aarons hasn't really had that. Dimitri Yanulis hasn't really had that other than suspensions and injuries. So it might be good that they've got a player coming in that clearly wants to play football. He's not willing to sit on the bench and pick up a decent pay packet at Manchester United. He's had that taste of first team Premier League football at a young age and clearly wants more of it. Isn't going to get it in Manchester United, is looking for a club that can provide it. He clearly thinks, and Manchester United clearly think, and to an extent Norwich City clearly think, that Brandon Williams can get that at the football club. I'd love to know your thoughts on this one, and I suspect that there will be more transfer news to come in the next few weeks with both ins and outs. I still don't think Daniel Farke and Stuart Webber are 100% happy with the squad that they've got. We've been through the discussion of sending Daniel Farke to war without a gun. I think he's got his gun. Stuart Webber now needs to find him the tank. Whether we've already got the tank is another matter. But Brandon Williams is another good addition in my opinion. I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments section down below. It's Manchester City up this weekend. We've got loads of preview content coming your way. Really looking forward to that one. Have a lovely day, everyone. Bye-bye.